Hello friends, so today I am back with a lot of meaningful stories for you, so let's get started. The first story is The Monkey and the Wedge. A long time ago, a merchant hired several carpenters and masons to build a temple. One day, a group of monkeys arrived at the site and watched the carpenters work. They started playing with the tools once the carpenter left for lunch. A carpenter had left a huge pile of wood at the construction site. The log was half split with a wedge in between to prevent it from closing up. One of the monkeys was looking at it very intently. "What is this thing? Looks interesting," thought the monkey. The monkey grabbed the wedge and started to pull it. The wedge came out and the log closed in. The monkey got stuck between the half-split log and was seriously injured. The moral of the story is, don't meddle in other people's affairs. The next story is The Jackal and the Drum. Once a hungry jackal was wandering around the forest in search of food. The wind blew hard and the jackal heard a strange noise echoing in the forest. The jackal was scared and thought, "I must run back home before I get into trouble. What if someone is hiding behind the trees?" He was about to retreat and run when he contemplated, "Why am I running from something that I haven't even seen? I must carefully find the source of the noise." Gathering all his courage, he stepped forward. He saw the branch of a tree brushing against a small drum every time the wind blew hard. He took a sigh of relief and continued searching for food. The moral of the story is, in order to tide through life's challenges, practice being brave. The next story is The Foolish Sage. There was once a sage. He trusted nobody and thus kept all his money in a bag which he carried all the time. A crook observed the sage with his bag and decided to rob him. He approached the sage and said, "Guruji, please guide me and my misery." The sage accepted him as his disciple but did not trust him with the bag. However, the crook was able to gain the sage's trust with his sweet words and praise. One day, the sage said, "Guard my bag while I take my bath in the river." The crook agreed happily. The moment the sage entered the river, the thief stole the bag and ran away. When the sage came back, he could see neither his disciple nor his bag. The sage realized that his disciple was a fraud and went home disappointed. The moral of the story is, do not believe the sweet words of a swindler. The next story is The Jackal and the Rams. One afternoon, a sage was passing through the forest when he saw two rams fighting with each other. They were both severely injured. Blood was oozing out from their heads, but they still kept on fighting with each other. A greedy jackal came out of the woods and noticed all the blood on the ground. He started licking the blood, not caring about the fighting rams. The sage thought to himself, "What a foolish jackal! The life is in jeopardy due to his greed." The jackal kept on licking the blood from the ground and did not notice the rams approaching him at high speed. Suddenly, the rams smashed into the jackal and injured him severely. The moral of the story is, greed always leads to misery. The next story, The Crows and the Cobra. Two crows built a small nest on a huge banyan tree. The she-crow laid a few eggs in the nest. The crows did not know that a black cobra lived in the hollow of the banyan tree. The crows were shocked when the cobra slithered towards their nest and ate all their eggs. The grief-stricken crows went to seek advice from a jackal who lived nearby. They narrated their problem to the jackal. The jackal advised them, "You should plan your revenge against the cobra. Even the most powerful enemies can be defeated with wit." The jackal explained his plan. "You both should fly to the city and find a house where people are wealthy yet careless. Find something valuable lying around their house. Pick it up when the servants are watching. The servants will follow you to retrieve the object. When you return, drop the object near the hollow of your tree." The crows took his advice and flew to the city. They spotted the queen and her servants swimming in a lake. Their jewelry was lying on the bank. One of the crows went to pick up a necklace. The servants saw the crow stealing the necklace and alerted the soldiers. As expected, the royal soldiers followed the crows. The crow dropped the necklace near the hollow of the tree and flew back to their nest. The surprised cobra came out of the hollow and attacked the soldiers. The soldiers killed the cobra swiftly. They retrieved the necklace and went back to the city. The crows thanked the jackal for getting rid of their mortal enemy. The crows lived happily ever after. The moral of the story is, even the most powerful enemies can be defeated with the use of wit. See you in the next video.